Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in the vast garden of the human soul, there is a persistent and difficult to uproot weed called regret. It takes root in the soil of the past from missed opportunities, wrong decisions, words left unsaid, actions that should not have been taken. Every one of us has more or less tasted the bitterness of regret. It can be a fleeting emotion, a reminder to do better next time, and to some extent, reflecting on the past with a learning attitude is necessary for growth. But, ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about a much more dangerous state. That is when we don't just occasionally visit the garden of regret, but choose to live in it. That is when regret is no longer a temporary emotion, but becomes a thick fog, a gray lens covering our entire life. And the core message I want to clarify with you today is, by living perpetually in regret, we are manually dimming the light of the present and slamming shut the door of hope for the future. 1. Regret, the subtle thief of the present. The present is the only moment we truly live, truly feel, truly act. But when imprisoned by regret, we are present in a faint way, sometimes even absent from our own lives. How does regret dim the present? It casts a veil over joy. How can we fully savor the sweet taste of a morning coffee, the clear laughter of our children, or the warmth of friendship, when our minds are busy replaying the film of what could have been? Regret for an idealized past, often romanticized, makes the simple joys of the present seem bland, lacking attraction. We see everything through the lens of loss, of lack, instead of fullness. It drains energy and motivation, constantly tormenting ourselves, blaming ourselves, and thinking, if only, a process of tremendous mental energy depletion. It's like running on a treadmill that never stops, leaving us exhausted but going nowhere. Energy that should be spent on work, study, self-care, building relationships, is burned in the smoldering fire of regret. The result is stagnation, apathy, and a loss of motivation to act in the present. It distorts the perception of reality. People living in regret tend to interpret present events through the negative filter of the past. A piece of advice can be seen as harsh criticism. A small difficulty can be viewed as proof of the incompetence that led to past mistakes. They easily give up on challenges because their subconscious keeps telling them it will just fail like last time. The present is seen pessimistically and distortedly. It poisons relationships. Regret can manifest externally as irritability, sadness, or withdrawal. We can unintentionally unload our burden of regret onto those around us, compare them to figures from the past, or be unable to open our hearts to new affection for fear of repeating old hurts. Our presence in relationships becomes superficial, lacking true connection because our minds are stuck somewhere else. Ladies and gentlemen, when the present is dimmed by regret, we are not only missing out on life, but also sowing negative seeds for our own future. 2. Regret, the ghost haunting the future. The future is a blank canvas, a land of promise with countless possibilities. But when dominated by the regret of the past, that canvas is easily stained by pessimistic strokes, and the land of promise suddenly becomes frightening. It sows fear and avoidance. The obsession with repeating past mistakes makes us fearful of new decisions, new opportunities. We hesitate to take risks, hesitate to step out of our comfort zone. Regret over a broken relationship can prevent us from loving again. Regret over a failed project can make us falter before new career challenges. The future becomes narrowed by this invisible but powerful fear. It erodes self-belief. Constantly looking at past failures and wrong choices will gradually wear down self-esteem and belief in one's own abilities, self-efficacy. We start to believe that we are incompetent, incapable, or that fate has destined us to fail. This negative belief becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, preventing us from setting high goals or making us easily give up when facing difficulties in the future. It paints a bleak future prospect. When the lens we wear is the gray of regret, it is difficult to see a bright future. We tend to predict bad things will happen, focusing on potential risks instead of opportunities. This pessimism not only takes the joy out of life, but also prevents us from planning and acting to build a better future. We lose the ability to dream and hope. It paralyzes the ability to act and create. Why try when you believe you will fail anyway? Why plan for the future when you only see darkness ahead? Regret can lead to a state of paralysis, where we no longer want to or dare to act to shape our future. We become prisoners of the past, passively waiting for the future which we believe is bleak to arrive, instead of being active creators. Thus, ladies and gentlemen, you can see that dwelling in regret is not merely a personal sadness. It is a subtle destructive force, dimming the vibrant colors of the present and casting a shadow over the unlimited potential of the future. It makes us live as if not living, exist without truly being present. 3. Stepping out of the darkness, the journey to reclaim the present and future. So how do we escape the grip of regret, so that the light of the present and future can shine again? This is not an easy battle, but it is completely possible with awareness, determination, and consistent practice. Face and acknowledge. The first step is to bravely look directly at your regret. What is it? Where does it come from? How is it affecting you? Don't try to avoid or deny it. Acknowledge its existence as a part of human emotion. Distinguish between learning and tormenting. Ask yourself, what lesson is this regret teaching me? What can I do differently in the future based on this experience? Once you have drawn the lesson, try to let go of the torment. Transform regret into motivation for positive change, instead of letting it become an excuse to punish yourself. Practice self-compassion. Treat yourself with the kindness and understanding you would give a struggling close friend. Everyone makes mistakes sometimes. Everyone makes imperfect decisions. Accepting your own imperfection is the key to freeing yourself from the harsh judgment of regret. Redirect focus to the present. Use mindfulness techniques to bring your mind back to the present moment. Focus on your breath, on what you are seeing, hearing, feeling. Engage fully in present activities, whether it's work, hobbies, or talking with loved ones. The more you practice being present, the weaker the power of regret becomes. Take affirmative action. If regret involves harming someone else, consider whether a sincere apology or some corrective action is possible. If it's regret about a missed opportunity, for similar opportunities or create new paths. Concrete action, even small, has the power to break the cycle of regret and helplessness. Rewrite the future story. Instead of letting the past dictate the future, actively write the story you desire. Set new goals, big or small. Make an action plan. Focus on what you can do, instead of what couldn't be done. Believe in your ability to change and create. Every small step taken in the present contributes to building a different future. Seek support. Don't hesitate to share your feelings with people you trust, family, or seek help from mental health professionals. Sometimes, an objective perspective and external support can help us untangle the knots of regret that we cannot undo on our own. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, living in regret is like trying to drive forward while keeping your eyes glued to the rearview mirror. We not only miss the scenery along the road of the present, but there is also a very high risk of getting lost or causing an accident for our own future. The past, with all that has happened, should be placed in its rightful position. Behind us, we can look back to learn, to gain experience, but then we must turn our faces forward, where life is truly happening. Choose to step out of the darkness of regret. Choose to forgive yourself and the past. Choose to be fully present in every moment of the now. Choose to believe and act to light up the path to the future, because the present is a precious gift bestowed upon us, and the future is a blank canvas waiting for us to write new stories full of hope. Don't let regret dim any of that. Let us together bravely let go of yesterday's burden, to fully embrace the light of today and the potential of tomorrow. Thank you very much for your kind attention.